go to YouTube. Alright, we are live. If anybody joins, I will see. Right, switch to which account, go here. If anybody's lurking, just bear with me one moment. Alright guys? Just check my phone. We are live, okay. Let's put something out on Twitter. Just gotta find Twitter. Where's the app? Put that there. Right, let's see who turns up. I'm a bit earlier than I thought I would be. So, bear with me people, alright? I don't know who's here, who isn't here. So if I look at the analytics on YouTube, it helps if I go to YouTube. No, nobody here yet. Ooh, excuse me. OBS screen. Oh, message. It's weird if you can't see me live. Oh, you're there. Alright, man. I don't know how up to date you are, but I think the big news today this morning is not going to be a Virgil van Dijk or transfers. I think it's going to be the City news. I suppose you've seen that. I did do a video on it because I thought I'd better get something on that out fairly quick. Right, there we go, that's better. I did mention the dunk as well. I was going to probably go live. Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. I mean, this is on Sport Bible, the Express Tribune, Manchester Evening News, Daily Mail. It's pretty much everywhere. But I'll just go for the Daily Mail, for example. And the headline they've got is Sky Sports 1 pundits not to make snap judgments in Man City case with verdict on 115 charges expected soon. And Evening Tribune says Sky Sports braces pundits as Man City's 115 charge verdict expected this week. So there's obviously something coming and something big. But what? Surely if they were innocent and been cleared, you'd say, or they would just say, we've cleared them. Why, if it's an innocent charge, are they taking so long about it? And if it's a guilty charge, it's just weird. That was my phone going off nuts there. Alright, it's just a Telegram chat. I don't know what to make of it. Yeah, so they've told the likes of Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville and Roy Keane to stick to facts. And what was the thing? Well, in fact, I put the quote out in the video. But yeah, that just came out the blue, didn't it? How are you feeling after the weekend anyway? What's your thoughts on the rest of the season? Are you worried? Concerned? Not bothered? How the mighty fall. Yeah. Well, they've not fallen yet. They've got to have some charges guilty. Though didn't they say it was 130? So we don't know. It's very, very, very interesting. I don't know where they're going to go with it. But the article I read, it actually mentioned Pep, and I remember this at the time. He said after the Leyton Orient game it would be about a month, and I checked the date of that game. It was February the 8th, and we're now on the 18th, so we're nearly 2 weeks on from that. So it's like 5.5 weeks. I'll just see if there's anybody lurking. If you are lurking, please feel free to say hello. 3 views. Obviously, I know I'll say 2 because one's my personal profile. Just sat there just so I can double check stuff. I don't know who the third person is, but say hello. No, we can't. And we need to hit the ground running and get back onto the swing of things. Though I think Arsenal's game in hand is... oh, it's not game in hand now because they've played Chelsea, but it's Fulham. Yeah, one's me, one's you. Who's the other viewer? In fact, I'm not even... I don't know. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh... yeah, the football, because obviously they've just played... Arsenal played Chelsea, and to be fair, I don't think Arsenal were absolutely amazing in that. Chelsea just seemed to be so hit and miss. I mean, they've got to 4th, but they're still very erratic. I'm just going to switch back to the OBS screen so it's more up to date. Yeah, Chelsea is so erratic, and I think it's Fulham next. Oh, so you're here twice. It's you. We have double Carl. And I wasn't up till nearly 4 AM doing videos last night. I don't think I went to bed about 2:30, but I was uploading stuff and it was processing, so I thought I'd just wait till it was done, and then I needed a drink. So we've got no live stream from Dunk this afternoon. I'm not too sure about this evening. I wonder if he's reading similar sort of stuff to what I'm seeing alluded to for João Gomez. That link will just not die. That João Gomez link. Apparently we went in and inquired or put an offer in for Isaac yesterday, though that remains to be seen. I'm sceptical on that. We've had the Virgil van Dijk stuff overnight. I saw PSG. I was going to do a video on PSG, then the Bayern link came out. So I was like, oh, I'll do that one. And then more appeared on the PSG one, and then that sort of evolved into he doesn't want Saudi and he prefers the MLS. It does look like Virgil's going, to be honest. It's a worry for new players coming in as well, because look at how these contracts are being handled. And there's no urgency or desire to say persuade Diaz or Konate to stay as well. And that's a worry. Virgil, I think it's looking... Oh, there's a lot of noise about him going. He's getting what's called... Well, you could say it's getting to him, because look what he said. He says, nobody knows anything about what I'm doing. If they do, you're a liar. So he's literally getting a bit more confrontational over it. No, it's just a complete mess. And then look at that supposed meeting in a restaurant co-owned by Adam Lallana just before Christmas, where he was apparently signing stuff. What was he signing? Is the question. If he doesn't know where he's going to be, then it's obviously not a contract. So what would he be signing, unless it's a new sponsorship deal? But why would you do that in secret? Unless he didn't want some sponsors to know. Oh, I don't know. It's all very... I don't get them Virgil stuff. And Mo, when he went up to do the penalty, and at the end he's in tears. Literally, and breaking down in tears. Now, if he was staying, he's got another shot potentially at Ballon d'Or next year. He can still challenge for a Champions League next year and try and get another Ballon d'Or. But if he's not staying, then he would know that was a last chance at a Ballon d'Or. So is Mo going as well? It's just, I don't understand. There's arguments to and from both sides. Is he going? Is he staying? Is Virgil going? Is he staying? Trent, when you packing your bags and going? Because we know you're off. It's literally a mirror of the Mbappe one. You're gonna have to sort it. Oh God. Well, we might not have any players left at this rate. Jesus. Oh, excuse me. Well, I went through. I would have to find the post. I did, and Adam read it out on his stream last night as well. Let's see if I can find the post I put out. Where is it? Posts. I don't know how often you read the posts. I don't think I went through a video on this, because I think I was going to. I can't remember if I did. But I tried to think about a few points. And if Top Reds are watching and you disagree with me, I don't give a... You can jog on and hate me. Alright? I'm going to be... If I want something to say, I will damn well say it. So, Top Reds, if you're watching, tough. I tried to think of a few points post-final. And there was a thing about January where we asked for signings. I think Dunks mentioned this on his stream yesterday. And it's like, if you've got a squad at the top and you're going to strengthen, why not do it in a position of strength? And... what was it we were told? We had 4 competitions to play for. Well, up became Plymouth, 4 became 3. PSG turned up, 3 became 2. We went to Wembley, played Newcastle, and 2 became 1. So we have been found out with the lack of investment, and I said we need to sort the performances out before the Everton game, and that's because the points gap dwindles, and then the league's gone if you don't improve. Because if we play like we did, oh hello Abdul, what's this? Replacing Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, still achieving major trophies will be challenging. I'll go back to reading that in a minute. I'll just touch Abdul's point here. Welcome, new face on here. Nice to see you. Virgil van Dijk, yes, he's a world-class centre-back, but there is really top-quality centre-backs out there. It will be hard replacing him, but not impossible. But it's not a situation I would want to have to do. But with him being 34 at the end of the season, we know it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I've got a feeling he's going to probably be thinking about retirement after the World Cup in 2024. Mo, now that's different. He's still at his peak. He's just produced so far his best ever Premier League season, and we're in March. But with Mo, you've got so many assists, and I think it's 27 goals in the Premier League. So to replace Mo, you've got to replace the assists and you've got to replace the goals. You can't do that with one player. I want both of them to stay, but it's even harder to replace Salah. It is, because you look at his assists this season and you look at the goals. You can't. I'm racking my brains to try and think who you could buy around the world that's going to match those numbers. Yes, Rafinha at Barcelona's got good assists and goals, but he's nowhere near the numbers Mo's producing. I think I can't remember how many assists and goals he had, but I think it's a good 50% different to what Mo's got. He's also older, which is another worry, than some of the players we've been linked with. If I look at his career stats, 13 goals in 27 games, and like Mo's in 27 in 29. There's a huge difference there, and I think he's something like 13, 14 assists, and I'm sure Mo's on nearly double that. So even his numbers don't match up, but he's 28 going on 29. And there's no guarantee he's going to leave Barcelona anyway, so he'd be one I'd rule out. Excuse me. But you can't, as you said, it's even harder to replace Salah. It is, because he's a generational talent, so to speak, and to replace him properly, you're needing two players. I can't think of a single player that replaces him. Well said, no one is near Salah. I think both of them will stay. Do you know, I'm literally, as day goes by, one day I'm thinking they'll stay and one day I don't. And that's because of we don't know what's going on. There's no clarification, there's no certainty. If they were signed or close to signing, you think we'd hear something by now, but we're still left in limbo. We're no further forward than we were in June, July, and we're coming up nearly 9 months. It's ridiculous. But Trent unfortunately leaves. I think Trent had decided what he was doing before the Man United game. I think that was the key, the performance, when he knew what was happening, because he had the most absolutely awful game. You can't replace him. He's one of a kind at the moment. So I'll put a question to you. It's obvious we need two players to replace Mo. Who do you pick up front and who do you put on the wing? Because you need the assists and you need the goals of two players. see what people think. Let's move stuff off my laptop. I can name the striker. The right-sided player I'm having a bit of a problem with, because I've got two and I can't decide. My striker choice, I'm not going for Isak because I think the numbers to get him financially are just going to be ridiculous. You've got 150 million plus fee, you've got a signing on fee, you've got a wages, and I think we're going to be close to 250k a week. You've got bonuses, you've got agent fees, you've got everything, so I think so I'll just get back to Carl's point just in a second. I've just seen that there. So I think I'm going to go with Benjamin Sesko because of the fact he can drop deep and Isak can't. And for the right wing, I couldn't decide between Shirky or Yildiz. I couldn't decide. Kaiser needs some game time. I think he does, because he came on, I can't remember, was it 20 minutes to go? 25 minutes? He had some lovely touches, and he was the most alert player in that final third when Elliott played that ball through. Still in the FA Cup, EFL Cup and UCL and being top of the Premier League is misleading in January. We need investment, squad depth. I'm just reading this comment. And players to come off the bench to change the game. Well, I think we should have strengthened in a position of strength. We'd have, what was it, January, was it about 10 points clear at that point? I can't remember. And we were doing okay. This was before Plymouth. We should have got some players in, even if it was just one or two, and just let them slowly get used to the squad. And then slowly bring them in for games and just let them get used to the squad and slot style, and at least we'd have had fresh legs. But Sunday, I was watching it. We looked tired, we looked leggy, we looked lethargic. Second best in pretty much every duel. We couldn't win the second ball. The ball retention was literally poor to non-existent. The usual transitions were non-existent. Yes, we saw the ball. We could knock it round at the back because we had a higher possession rate. But the higher possession doesn't mean a thing, because you could knock the ball between Kelleher to Van Dijk to Konate to Quansah to Robbo and back to Kelleher. That's possession. The ball retention and the transitions were shocking. The pressing was lazy. Yeah, I was impressed with Chiesa. The attack should be Salah, Gakpo and Chiesa. Salah can't really play on the left. That's a problem though. I would have Gakpo, if you're going to go with those three, I'd have Gakpo on the right, so Gakpo on the left, Salah on the right and Chiesa down the centre. And Dom is looking exhausted, so I'd be maybe tempted to even give him half a game if he can do it, and give Elliott half as well, and just get him some minutes in. What do I think about Joe Gomez, Nat Phillips, Rhys Williams, Calvin Ramsey, Ben Doak, Stefan Bajcetic, Núñez, Diaz and Jota? That's a good one. What do I think about Joe Gomez? I love Joe Gomez. He's brilliant. He gives his heart out every single game he plays. He gives his all. And he was treated abysmally in the summer because he just found new school for his family. He just got he just sorted schools out for his kids, and to be told he's going to be leaving. I'd love Joe Gomez to stay, but I don't think he will. And the injuries he's getting more and more now seem to be a problem. Nat Phillips, I've got a lot of time for Nat Phillips. He's no nonsense. He works hard. I do like Nat Phillips, but I think he's gone. Rhys Williams, that's the thing. It's hard to really say what we think of Rhys Williams because we don't really see him. So it's really hard to judge a player when I'm not even getting to see them play. Calvin Ramsey, that's the Scottish one, and I believe he was at loan at Wigan. He'd be an okay understudy, I think, to Bradley, but again, I think he needs more minutes and more experience. Sorry, I'm going to be behind in the chat here. But I'd like to see him stay. Ben Doak, I'm a huge fan of Ben Doak. I've seen him play for Borough, so I know a bit about him, and I think he's a good prospect. Bajcetic, I don't know if you've seen the community post I put down a breakdown of the squad, and I said for Bajcetic that I'd like him to stay. I hope he's got a future, but if he's loaned out again, I think his career could be worried. Núñez, Carl's going to know the answer for this straight away. Get him out. Get Núñez out. Buy Núñez. I'll take you to the airport now. Diaz, I think his head's been turned by all the talk with Barcelona. And Jota, well, after that miss at the end of the first half, where I think he troubled the corner flag more than the goal, he's been carried in games. I think he needs to go. We were bullied against Newcastle. Newcastle are very good at that. They're very strong. When they played Arsenal in the semi-final, they basically did to Arsenal what Arsenal do to teams. Yep, that's pretty much what I said there. Just PSG games, we didn't do anything in both. I think we offered more in the second leg. The first leg, we literally did a smash and grab. We are tired and fatigued this time of the season. We are burnt out. We need to win the Premier League this season. Yes, we do. I think, and I know the Top Reds, if they're watching, and Carl knows my love of the Top Reds here, or not so love of the Top Reds, they'll be absolutely squirming at this. But if we don't win it this year, and we don't do an investment this summer akin to what City have done this January and more, we're not winning the league next year. No chance. City are going to strengthen. There is no doubt about it. Unless these 115 charges have them kicked out of the league, they are strengthening. Arsenal will be strengthening. Chelsea have already started to strengthen. They've just brought in Asuga and Coenda. Well, Coenda's coming in for 2026. Other teams will strengthen. I don't expect Man United to be sitting 14th for long. They're starting to pick up form and results. We need to strengthen, and fast, I think. I love them much as not Darwin's finishing. In fact, I prefer Darwin's finishing. Dominic Szoboszlai, someone who was hiding in games. Konate sometimes makes mistakes, and I agree with you on the stupid mistakes. We saw it in the first leg when there was a challenge for the red card, and there's been a couple of others where Slot had to sub him because he's been on a yellow card. But how old is he now? 24? So he's still learning, still young. I mean, when he was at Leipzig, I think when he was about 2021, he was rated as one of the most, one of the hottest prospects for central defenders in football. So he's got a high ceiling for potential. I think he could probably do well, but yeah, we need more. There was a stat I've seen. It was the last 9 finals Salah's played in, right? Well, our last 10 finals, Salah was injured for 1, but the last 9, he scored in 1 game, got an assist in the other, and has done nothing in the other 7. No goals, no assists. So he was non-existent in both PSG games. I don't even remember him doing anything against Newcastle. That is where the criticism comes in. He went AWOL. Now I know people are going on about, but there's been Ramadan? So there's fasting, and people are asking, does that have an effect on the body? I don't know. I can't say. But I know if I've not had, when I've trained for sports and stuff before, if I've not had a good diet, or I've not rested or eaten or drank sufficiently, it's affected my performance, say for runs and stuff. But different sport, different age, and I wasn't a trained professional, he was. Emphasis on when, I think, would be the safe for Darwin there. Yeah. As I was also said to Carl before, what do you think of this City Chargers thing? That's obviously we know about the City Chargers, and it's breaking today that Sky are prepping the pundits to stay close to facts and not get carried away or something. What are your thoughts on these 115 charges for City, since we could see a verdict by the end of the week? I believe Nunes will shine for the right team. Nunes needs to be the main man, and I don't think a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 is the best for him. I think he needs to be a little bit more on the left, but he's not really a winger such as the likes of Diaz or Leao or Gittins or Kvaratskhelia or the like. At the moment he's raw chaos. He's unpredictable. He needs an experienced striker alongside him, I think. So if you could get a striker alongside him that can score and also hold the ball up and support him, I think he would flourish. I think he's in the wrong system, the wrong style of play, and he's not been given the chance to do what he wants to do. Man City will be playing Tranmere next year. What division are Tranmere? Are Tranmere in League 2? Oh, this could be interesting. Hold on, I'm just going to move my chat box over here. Just when Calder's rolling on the floor, laughing. I don't know how the fasting works, so you'd have been on the final hours. Does that have much of an impact on your body, your fitness, your condition? I don't know. Well, we know now he's not fasting. It's all done. So if it was that, he should be ready for Everton. I'll be curious to know whether Egypt play in this 2 weeks and how he performs for Egypt. And going back to the squad, there was another thing. I put it in a video where if you've caught it, my apologies. If you haven't caught it, then I'll explain anyway. It's no secret we didn't spend much in January or last year, but if you compare our last 3 transfer windows, so that's from January 24 to summer 24 to winter window, January transfer window 25, we spent I think 10.5 million up front. It was for Keys. I think the rest was add-ons depending on performances. Right. Burnley this season spent 18 million on one player alone. So Burnley have nearly doubled our transfer outlay for 3 transfer windows. What does that say about our spending? Battling to stay in League 2, but that might take over on the... But big takeover on the cards if they stay up. Where are they in the league? I'm going to have to have a look. League 2. How many go down from League 2, is it? It's 2 go down, isn't it, from League 2? Oh, that's good to hear. Saying that's really good. Yeah, but going back to calling about Tranmere and them fighting the state, I'm sure the Nations League. This is going off the Welcome to Wrexham documentary when they were trying to get back into the league. The league champions automatically went up, and then it was the playoff winners. There was no second place. Because the season Wrexham went up, they had, Wrexham on 107 points, and was it who was it went up with them? Notts County were on 106, and they were saying it's going to be an absolute travesty if one of those doesn't go up because of a playoff match when they should have gone up. Fasting affects body and mind. That's interesting. Because I don't know if you're on the Cop Talk stuff as well, Abdul, but we had a chat, because I'm in the Telegram chat for there as well, and the fasting came and the Ramadan came up in there, and apparently ever since he's been at Liverpool, I don't think they looked further, like Fiorentina, Roma, Chelsea and Basel, but apparently round about the time of Ramadan he's always dropped off. I don't know whether that's just his body or him, but it's an interesting point. But he's always apparently dropped off round about this period. I know last year he'd had African Nations and an injury as well? So it's harder to say. But hopefully it's just that, and he's back to his best real soon. But he needs support. He's literally carrying that team. He needs somebody to chip in as well. I was looking somewhere. I don't know whether I've got the right player. Let's have a quick look. I'll just quickly check this. I will be with you just one moment. I'm just busy checking out a bit of information. I'll do it on my phone, not the laptop, because it's far easier. Well, here's an interesting stat for you for this season, right? Darwin Núñez has played 23 games and scored 5 Premier League goals. Now you think that's absolutely shocking, and it is. Now I'm going to put another player in the mix, different team, same league, different team, right? This player has played 28 games, scored 5 goals. Gvardiol of Man City, playing at left back. He's about as prolific as Darwin Núñez. And there was a stat in our Telegram chat as well. I think it was Darwin has 1 goal in 12. Luis Diaz has 1 goal in 17. And Jota had no goals in 9. So what do you make of that? I think Carl's heard this stat actually. But and Hussein will have seen this stat as well because he's in the Telegram chat. But that's abysmal. And Mo is on, 44 goal contributions this season. Mo has probably got more goals this season than Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez have in the past 3. It's a worrying. So it's another reason why we need to keep Mo as long as we can. Because how do you replace those figures? The thing is, did we have any offers? Was there any concrete offers in for him? I was looking around at things, and it was around about that time we were linked with Nkunku, who are team that do all the stats and the data side of things, suggested. We looked at Julian Alvarez of River Plate. Klopp wanted Núñez. Klopp and Pep wanted Núñez. Klopp and Pep got Núñez. His numbers are amazing. I hope he'll be back against Everton. Yeah, you and me both. I can't. But Everton had that amazing run where they were winning games, and they drew, didn't they, at the weekend? Was it a 1-1 draw? Were they not a goal behind? I'd have to have a look at that. I'm sure they were losing to... Was it Fulham? Fulham ringing? West Ham they were losing to. And got a 90 plus... Well, it says 90 plus 1 minutes. Jake O'Brien. And the possession on that was even. The shots, passes. So West Ham and Everton were fairly even in terms of stats. But they got rid of Dyche, and Moyes has done what they wanted them to do. He's got them playing. He's got them fired up again. And Moyes Everton is not a fun side to play. If we'd had Sean Dyche in the dugout at Anfield, I'd be convinced we'd win. David Moyes Everton, it's a very different Everton, I feel. Diaz gets bullied, not physically enough. well, he's been here how many years? He was a January window signing. Was it in 2022? He's been here a while. When did he sign? I'm sure it was January 22 he signed, because Tottenham wanted him, and because I think Tottenham were about to try. I think we were going to go for him in the summer, but Tottenham were going to move, so we sort of jumped the gun on them. Have a look. Club career. When did he sign? 30th of January. He signed. So he's been here 3 years now. So he should be used to the league, and he wasn't outfought when he arrived. He held his own. But we saw them Barca links come out again. I'm just wondering whether the Barca stuff's got to him, because he's completely gone off the boil. He shows flashes of his brilliance, because he did try against Newcastle. He tried to get in the game, but I just wonder if the support around him was a bit of a problem. Hair and mouth, yuck. Catch up on chat. Have I missed anything? Not on my end anyway. Chat box is showing I'm up to date. I'm actually struggling to keep up with the chat today. That's the first. But as for being bullied, I'm just wondering whether the way Slot wants him to play has a bit of an impact onto how he's imposing himself in games. I don't know. It's just interesting that he's tailed off more, and I don't know, he seems to struggle with the fullbacks more this season than previous, but he's also been lumbered in a central striker's role, which he's not, and a typical centre back is going to be more physical than a fullback as well. So I'm just wondering whether he's not capable of dealing with, say, a natural centre back. Didn't he sign a new contract for Newcastle? That's the thing. If he hadn't signed that contract, I'd say yes, but I think he signed a new contract. I'm sure he extended his contract. That's the thing. Yeah, 22nd of October 2024, and it's on the official club website. Anthony Gordon signs new long-term contract, and that's official because it's on Newcastle's official website. But the Gordon stuff was interesting, because you look back now, you'll all remember that Man City were interested and had agreed stuff with Diaz. And everyone went, no, there's no way Man City would want Diaz. Does he need some Claire's accessories for his hair, does he? I assume you mean claws. That's got to be one of the best typos I've seen today. Carl's awesome. But yeah, going back to that, you remember the Diaz stuff with City was around about August, and then in the summer, period as well, just before that, we had the talks of Gordon being offered with Quansah, and then it became Gomez. And then we've just had the stuff come out from, is it Sam Maguire? Is that his name? Sam Maguire? I've done it in videos and I can't remember his name. About Alvarez stuff, and then the supposed interview with Win-Win from Fernando Hidalgo, his agent. So were we trying to sign Alvarez from City? City wanted Diaz. We couldn't agree on the price because we valued him at 60 and City valued him at 45. And we thought, the clubs thought if Diaz is going, we need a winger. So they've gone to try and get Gordon, because those talks were ongoing, because apparently he was telling players at Euros he was coming to Liverpool. And then all amongst that confusion, Atletico Madrid come and say, right, we're going to take Alvarez, and it just put the deal to dead. Yes, I know, I've just thought. I would take Gordon instead. Gordon came from... Well, he's local, isn't he? He's a local lad. Yep, I knew what you meant. I just found it funny. If you'd said that with Darwin Núñez, I would have said maybe he does need new hair ball. Maybe that's why he's missing. Yep, that is true, Carl. Gordon has more end product than Diaz. With the pair of them, when you put them side by side, I would say Diaz's technical ability, his dribbling, his close ball control, his unpredictability and his flair is better than Gordon. Gordon is a better finisher. He's a better crosser. Gordon is better at intercepting stuff because Gordon will track back. Gordon has better anticipation. Gordon reads the space behind a high line much better. If you want to play a consistent ball retention game, which Slot does because Slot wants to say kill them with passes, Gordon is very good at that, whereas Diaz will more likely try to do one trick too many. Gordon doesn't. Gordon's more powerful. Gordon's more direct with his running. Isaac's a better finisher. Well, I'm a better finisher than Darwin. And I'm nearly 50. Isaac's one of the best natural finishers we've seen in the Premier League. And I did a video on his the injury history as well. And I don't know if you've seen that, Abdul, but there is concerns of his Newcastle injury record. Now, if you look at, he was at Real Sociedad for 3 years, I believe. He had 2 injuries. Now, Bournemouth had a period where they had lots of injuries, and that was when Eddie Howe was the manager. So I'm just wondering if a lot of the injuries that Howe has is due to his training style, because a lot of Newcastle players have, since he's come over, had injuries. We saw at least 3 out with injury. Or was it 2 out with injury? Was it Botman, Lascelles? I'm sure there was somebody else out injured as well. They've had Isaac out injured this season. Miley's been out injured this season. It's just... I'm not going to hold much into the injury record because I don't think there's much to go off it, to be fair. I don't think we can say a thing about the injury record, because I think it's mostly down to Howe's training and the Newcastle style of play and the very intensive pressing game. that they play. I think if Isak had come to Liverpool when Klopp was there, we'd have seen the injuries, but I think under Slot we're seeing percentage less. And that's one of the reasons he was brought in, because he had a really good percentage of dealing with injuries at Feyenoord. He's also very good at managing transitions as well, because I think, was it his second summer there, or first? He had a 10 player transition period, so he managed that. I do like Isak, but I don't think he's the player to go for, mainly due to the price, and I think we need somebody that connects with the midfield a bit more. Because we've got a rotating three, which Newcastle don't. Newcastle midfield is very intense, as we saw on Sunday. They're very in your face. They're very on the front foot. They're very aggressive. So I think a striker we need would be somebody that can link with the midfield, score goals, but also drop back. Can we have a 21-year-old Roberto Firmino? That would be nice. The ones I've seen linked, I've seen Benjamin Sesko, I've seen Cunha, I've seen Alvarez recently, and obviously the Isak links will just not go away. I do like the look of Benjamin Sesko, to be fair, but I don't know how doable that deal is. I think there's only one player in the club who's got... Well, there's two players in the club, in the first team. Three players that have got a worse record than Darwin Núñez. That's Kelleher, Alisson and Gomez. Let's catch up with the chat. Just checking I haven't missed anybody. No, I think I'm up to date with the chat. That's not too bad. We are getting there. Is there any more points you want to raise? Anything else you want to ask? Who do you think is going to go in the summer? There's one. We're going to see outgoings, that's for sure. Who do you think is likely to go? I'm just going to keep up with news. What's this? Also, I don't know if you saw, there was a video put out. It's from the Dutch camp. Jeremy Frimpong caught up with Grav. He greets him with a Scouse accent. So watch us within the hour be linked with Frimpong, saying he's signing. He's got a Scouse accent. I'm seeing if there was any other stuff. We need... I'm assuming, Abdul, you mean Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the ex-Milan, Man United, everywhere else, Sweden striker. If there was a younger model for Zlatan, yes, because he was a fantastic striker. You didn't mess with him either. I mean, he had a black belt as well, and he could hold his own. He could back himself up, and he had a record to prove it. Kudos of Real Sociedad or Brian Mbeumo of Brentford. Ooh. They're very different types of player in a way. My answer to that would be depending on how many players we have to bring in, because Kudus is in Spain and Mbeumo is not. He's got Premier League experience. I think if we have to bring in a lot of players, I'd rather Mbeumo. But out of the two, based on potential, ability, talent, skill set, I'm going Kudus. I'm just finding something. There's one post I've seen on Twitter here. I'll see what you think of this, guys. It's from somebody called Simon Brundish. No idea who he is. But it's about the contracts. So see what you think. Richard Hughes has a boss. He is given a budget. When he arrived, he was immediately bent over a desk by free agents, knowing they had all the leverage in any talks about contracts because the previous manager allowed his best free players to enter the final years of their contract. I honestly have no idea what you expect him to have done. As an agent, there's not a chance in the world I'm giving away this kind of leverage without holding multiple teams to ransom. No chance of signing during the season. It would be negligence. Biggest problem was Klopp lining up their contracts with his contract and then leaving a year early. So there's one here. It's a thread on X, basically blaming Klopp for the contract situation. Now I don't know on this, but how much say did Klopp have over the contracts? Did he have any? I can't remember. But I think it's a bit unfair to blame Klopp for contracts for a club he left in, well, it was end of May. And Hughes and Edwards took over 1st of July. They've had all of July, all of August, all of September, all of October, all of November, all of December, all of January, all of February. They've had all season to sort these contracts out. So I think it's a bit unfair to blame Klopp. Also, Klopp doesn't control the finances afforded to the club either. Take a paycheck at the end of every month. I think that's about it, really. Apparently he was in Bournemouth speaking to the club, and I'm assuming it could be over a potential deal for Kerkez, Dean Huijsen. I don't know. I've not seen anything to confirm that he's been there, and I've not seen anything to say he hasn't. There was another rumour that Slot didn't want to sign anybody this season. He wanted to see what this squad was capable of for the season. I know there's the claims of he's assessing the squad, but at the start of the season, if you had everybody fit, we would have had a decent of a chance. I mean, when we played Ipswich on the opening game, and then we had the next few games, and Diaz was banging in goals left, right and centre, could we have foreseen Diaz being non-existent? Before that injury at Chelsea, could we have seen Jota being a passenger? Because yes, he's had injuries before, but he's always come back and scored. Could we have foreseen lots of things? It's just, I find it all a bit strange. So I'm just... what's it? Oh, Carragher's had a brutally honest take at Liverpool. It must be from the overlap. I haven't seen that yet. I don't really watch the overlap that much. I'm avoiding the rest is football, the Gary Lineker, Shearer, Micah Richards podcast, because to be honest, I don't think I can be bothered with Shearer this week. He can be annoying at sometimes, but when he's drunk and Newcastle have just won a trophy, I think he's going to be unbearable. But just thinking back at that Richard Hughes, well, he was involved in getting Slot to the club, so that's one thing. He was obviously involved with that with Edwards. I don't know how much he had to do in bringing Federico Chiesa to the club. That would be an interesting one. How much was involved in the Georgi Mamadashvili deal? Because I don't actually know what he does. Because what's their job titles? What's their official job titles? Let's have a look. Richard Hughes. He's the sporting director. So what's Michael Edwards? He's the chief executive. Okay. So it looks like the transfer side of things is being handled by Hughes and the contracts will be more Edwards. Hughes will be responsible for dealing with agents, getting the deals for players done, but I think if it's contract renewals and the more business side of things, it's going to be more Edwards. So I think the contracts will be more at Edwards' door than Hughes, but I don't know the full job descriptions for each title. I've never been a technical or sporting director at a club. And even if I'd been a professional player or ex-player, I never would have been either. I would never have done it. I also would never have done management. I'd have been quite happy coaching. I'd rather have been grassroots side. I have no interest in management other than on a PC game. I have no interest in all the admin side. I just prefer the grassroots. Right, hold on, I'll just check other screen. So, do we have any more questions? Anything people want to bring to the table? Oh, we've got the international break coming up. Has anybody bothered about the international break? Do you pay any attention to it? Are you more likely to be paying attention to it because it's Tuchel's first games? When are the games out of interest? Let's have a look. Albania on the 21st. And must be the 20. Is it the 24th? Latvia on the 24th. Are you bothered about those games? Give me 1 second. I think I need to feed some animals later. What's this? Nope. Nope. Just looking to see what's trending on X whilst oh, here's an interesting one for those watching. Let's have a look. It's from a City fan Twitter source. 115 charges, case verdict is in Man City favour. Then they've gone brackets confirmed, and then by the most reliable internal sources of the club. Detailed analysis on each charge's verdict will be out soon. Yeah, I don't believe that. Let's see if we got any news. Conor Bradley injury update. He's frustrated. It says here he's not expected to make an imminent return from injury. Aston Villa have responded to the Alvarez stuff. Not Aston Villa, Atletico Madrid. Why does it say Aston Villa? The club have said there's no intention to let him leave. Anything else? Arne Slot communicating regularly with €40 million target. I'm assuming that's Frimpong. It is. It doesn't appear there's anything else. Nothing more on Virgil van Dijk. Nothing more on Diaz. There you go. Right, just check. Right, I have no idea who's still on the chat, but I'm going to have to get sorted to go out in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to have to jump off. I may do another live stream this evening, I don't know yet. I'll see how things go and whatnot. Also, it seems to be fairly quiet as well, so I don't know who's actually still watching. But yeah, it's been good catching up with people. It's been a good chat. It's been a bit busier than the previous ones, which is nice. Some new faces on the chat. Hussein, I know I've spoken to in chats before, but I don't think I've spoken to Abdul in a live chat before, so it was nice to see a new face. So welcome, Abdul. It's nice to have you. Alright, so I'll be switching off in a minute. I know comments can still be typed when I stop the broadcast, but I can't see them. There's like a 20-30 second delay or something. Alright guys, so I'm just going to put a message in the chat so you knew. I'm just going to put a thing in the chat. Just put that in there now. I also don't know if I've got to pop out later as well, you see. But yeah, I'm gonna head off for now, so catch you later. Thank you for your support as always. Alright guys, I'll speak to you soon, alright?